Hey guys, this is Mark with Gables on the Go, and no, I am not going to the circus, although it looks like a big circus tent behind me. I'm going to tell you all about what that is and what's going on this property just behind me right here. So stick around, check out this video. I think you might learn a couple things. I certainly did. So guys, what this is a house that Laurie and I just bought down here in Ramrod Key in the Florida Keys. We're about 25 miles from Key West right here, and this is the little 900 square foot house that we just purchased, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, on a little lot that needs a lot of work, a lot of cleaning up, as you can see, and you can't even see the house because of the tent there. And what that is we're having it tented for termites. There were signs of some termites inside the house, and down here in the Florida Keys, it's a really big deal. Termites are just a huge problem down here, and we have a little bit different types of termites down here in the Keys than we did back in Georgia. Back in Georgia, we had subterranean termites, and they would come in the ground and build little tunnels up to the house and get in your house that way. These termites down here are a different type. I'm no termite expert, but they're not subterranean. They're actually flying termites down here. Kind of interesting to note about the termite situation, down here in the Keys, and what that looks like when you go to buy a house here. You're typically going to want to get a home inspection. There's so many things down here in the Keys. This environment is so rough on houses and properties, and I always recommend that the homeowner get a home inspection. In a lot of situations, if you have a lender involved, and obviously you're going to need insurance on the house, a lot of times the insurance company will require an inspection on the roof, for insurance purposes, flood elevations, things like that. And then I have seen insurance companies ask for the homeowner to get the home inspected for termites. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens frequently. And that's something that the potential buyer of the house, that's a cost to them. You have to get an inspector to come out and check specifically for termites. Typically your home inspector won't do that. They're trained to inspect the items in the house that it's part of their job, but not necessarily for termite damage or anything like that. You actually have to call a licensed termite pest control company for that. When they came out and tented this house, it's a relatively quick process. They must have had that tent put on that house in a matter under 2 hours for sure, because I was out here this morning trying to get some footage for you guys of them putting the tent on the house, because I think that would have been as interesting as anything. I don't see how they get those things over the houses like that. But anyway, I waited for a while, and then I drove back to Marathon for a couple of hours, and then I came back and they were already done. So the tent only stays on for 24 hours. They'll have that tent pulled back off the house tomorrow, and they say that I think within 48 hours, it may be less than that time, that you can go back in the house, and you obviously want to wipe down all your counters and all that kind of stuff, but anything that you touch and things like that a lot. But supposedly it's safe to go back into, pretty much right after they get finished with everything. So kind of an interesting process that happens pretty quickly. I will say, if you're needing to do anything like that, you want to schedule that kind of thing well in advance of your closing or anything like that, because a lot of times it does take them a little while to get out there. As you can imagine, they're pretty busy down here. What they do is they put this basically airtight tent around the house. They secure it down all the way around the perimeter here. You can see that. They've got this tube-like thing all filled up with water, and it holds down the edge. They threw some gravel on it there. But basically this thing's all pinned down and airtight, and they seal everything up, and then they run these hoses in from some sort of pump machines. And I wish I had been here when they were putting the tent up. I really wanted to see that, but I came down here this morning and waited a couple hours, and the guys weren't here, and I couldn't go in the house because they already had the signs on the doors, do not enter and all that, for the poison that they're going to put in there. And I waited around I wanted to watch this and share this with you guys and let you see it being tinted, because I just think it's amazing they can get a tint over a whole house. And this is a small house, so I've seen them do it on just huge homes down here. But you see this hose here on the ground, it runs underneath the tent. There's about 3 locations where that hose runs in, and I guess they hook some big pump sprayer type things to that, and they pump the aerosol, kind of like a big fogger, into the house, and it just fumigates everything inside. But as you can see, our little place is on the water here. We got a little boat ramp. We got 60 feet of seawall out here. We got a little area out back here that we can put a small pool, and the boat will be sitting right here. Canal's a little dirty today because we just had that tropical storm come through here and wash some things in here. So, but the back of the house has a big porch up there. But anyway, you can see how they just basically wrap the house in all this, and then they roll this stuff up and pin it together. You can see the clips going all the way up. It goes all the way over the top of the house, all the way through, and they just pump this stuff in there that kills termites. We'll tell you that down here in the Keys, this is a regular maintenance item pretty much. I'm hearing from people they're doing that about every 5 years on a house. And if you're wondering how much that cost, it cost us $1,400 to get this house tinted. And I'm hearing, you know, quotes in that range, depending on the size of the house. I think it's all depending on the square footage of the house. But and then once they tint the house, they'll actually renew annually. I think it's about $150 a year or so, and they'll keep a warranty against termites on the house for you. So definitely worth it. And down here in the Florida Keys, it's just man, I walk into very, very few houses down here in the Keys that don't have some sign of termites inside of them. They practically have to be brand new before I see that. So termites are a really big deal here. So you might be wondering, what are some of the telltale signs of, you know, whether or not you have termites in your house or not? And again, guys, I'm just a real estate agent. I'm not a pest control guy. But I have picked up on a few things along the way that I have learned in dealing with different houses and having companies come in and do the termite treatments and or inspections. And some of the telltale signs that you can look for is basically termite poop. It's called frass, and it looks like, I've seen it a couple different ways. If you see in a corner of your house or along the baseboards or under your cabinets or somewhere in the house that looks like somebody spilled a little pile of coffee grinds, that's termite poop. If I've seen it almost look just like coffee grounds, the same color, and I've seen it look almost like sawdust. Don't really know the difference. I don't know if it's a different species of termite, or I don't know if it has to do with the color of the wood that they're eating or what it is, but I've seen it both ways. But if you see something that looks pretty much just like coffee grinds, the same texture of it, maybe a little bit smaller actually, that's a real good sign you've got termites in your house. And then of course, if you see wings, back in Georgia, we would get flying ants, and they would shed their wings, and sometimes it would look like termites when it was really just flying ants. But down here, especially in the Florida Keys, if you're seeing, you know, piles of wings laying around on the ground, in your house somewhere, on your countertops, you know, back in the nooks and crannies where you don't typically go, if you see a little pile of 20 or 30, 40, 50, 100 little translucent little wings, that's a good sign you got some termites in your house and you need to get it treated ASAP. I did learn something kind of encouraging, being that termites are such a big issue down here in the Keys. The guys down here said that the type termites that are typically our biggest problem here in the Keys are not necessarily very fast working termites. I guess they're lazy termites. That fits for the Florida Keys. Lazy termites. They don't tear things up super fast. Apparently they take a lot longer to do major damage. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I have seen some houses that were just trashed, but they probably were never treated. I mean, a friend of mine bought a house here recently. He already knew that there was major termite damage in the house, but when they got to the studs in the house, they were almost like foam. You could just grab and crush the studs with your hands. They were so eaten with termites. So over a period of many years, these termites down here can do some serious damage to a house. But so I hear from the pest control guys, they say compared to the subterranean termites that could do really quick work on your house and big time damage, these down here take a lot longer for whatever reason. Laurie and I have got a lot of work to do here, but we did get a great deal on the house. We've got a lot of work to do. We're going to clean everything up, turn this into a cute little Keys cottage, and this will be our home for a while. I just wanted to share this with you. We're going to have in another video all the details on the home itself. We're going to walk you through all of our renovations and things we're going to do to make things work. And you can follow along with us on those other videos and see the rest of the house and what all we're going to do to it. But as you can see from the yard out here, we got a lot of work to do. Anyway, guys, hope you find that interesting and useful. If you're buying a home down here in the Keys, at least you know what to expect when you talk about tenting for termites.